Packers Corner regular season in the books. Was not exactly a high-flying finish for the Packers there, but hey, as you said just before we went live here, Dad, it's a new season. Playoff time is here. You got both the logos that I wanted to see. You got the Hall of Fame logo. You got the River Falls logo. Certainly cool to see the Falcons get it done in Canton. I was there, boots on the ground, Schmitty. I'm sure we'll have to talk a little bit about that, soak it in, and we'll talk a little bit about the matchup we got against your Chicago Bears for the Green Bay Packers on the other side.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
It was named after Vince Lombardi. You play in Green Bay. As important as it is to any other team, it means more to us.
When he walked into the meeting, he looked us right in the eye. He said, "Gentlemen, we're going to relentlessly chase perfection."
My first thought was, on any play with my arm strength, I may not let anybody know this, but my first thought was home run. On every play. On every play.
He did what? Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No!
Well, Dad, I don't know if North Central is last, as Vince Lombardi said that there is no second place. I don't know if North Central is last, but I sure do know the River Falls Falcons were first. We got to talk a little bit about that. I suppose we can put up the quote-unquote highlights from the Packer game, too. But let's start with that one, maybe. And Schmitty, I'm curious if you turned in at all as well. But Dad is a alum. I don't know. Like, technically, did you call yourself an alum from River Falls? You graduated, or you moved on too quickly?
I'm close enough.
More than a super alum.
Undergraduate studies at the University of Wisconsin at River Falls.
They let him into professional school too quick.
Falcon was there, and Freddie was flying high this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Before the game in Canton, I tried to tune in a little bit to the Packers, see what was going on there. I don't even. You guys are going to have to let me know what went on. Was there anything to talk about there, Schmitty?
I mean, really, it was just pray in hopes that no one got injured. Like, Madden, turn injuries off and just hope we stay healthy on the other side of this. We rested as many people as we can. I think we only suited up 48. Like, we tried to pull all the strings we possibly could just to put the bare minimum out there. We had plenty of P squad players, yet we find a way to have Javon Bullard in the fourth quarter playing snaps. I couldn't believe it when he went down. I think he's okay, and we'll expect to see him on Saturday. I'm like the whole game, and I watched every second of it, unfortunately, where I'm just like whispering, please no injuries, Matt. Please just make sure you get these kids out of here healthy and upright. And what are we doing trying to score at the end of the game? I just question what Matt was up to. He had just like a blank look on his face. He was checked out, already scheming up for the Bears. If that was the case, run the ball a bunch of times. J.J. McCarthy goes out. It's not like KOC was trying to do anything masterful. Like, he recognized the situation they were in. We didn't have any season-ending injuries, so I guess for that, job well done.
We had enough of those before this game even started to last a couple years, unfortunately. What about Clayton Tune, Dad? We're already moved on from him. Desmond Ridder will be the backup for Jordan Love, I believe, come Sunday here. They didn't exactly give Tune a great chance to go, exhibit what he's capable of, and then they let him off the team. Was that the right call, do you think?
Well, we're wasting way too much time analyzing something that has no bearing on reality other than the defensive side of the ball. You had some standout performers on the defensive side of the ball that you need to talk about. Baron Sorrell showed out. He had 8 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss, triple the production of Rashawn Gary in the last 10 weeks. You had Colin Oliver, who came in there and showed out for a guy who hasn't played football in almost 2 years since he was hurt his senior year. He's the twitched up outside rusher who's undersized and is going to give us something probably not this year, but perhaps next year. And Brenton Cox was able to get healthy for the first time since the first week. So you're going to have some guys to push Rashawn Gary to start playing some ball, which is what we need. And hey, we wondered about the rush defense. This is our second team. The Vikings rushed for a little less than 4 yards a carry, just over 100 yards. I thought it was a good performance by the defense. And you boys, you two gentlemen right there, you need 5 Hail Marys and 3 Rosary Holy Marys or Our Fathers or whatever the Catholics do to absolve themselves. When I brought up Trayvon Diggs last week, you looked like you swallowed raw prune juice. You gave me the side eye 52 different ways. And this guy's out there on the field, and Matt LaFleur says he's probably going to play in the playoff game. So there it is. That's all I got for you until we talk about the Falcons.
Well, I did drive through South Bend, and we stopped at the Holy Grail, Notre Dame's football stadium. And we didn't partake in the transubstantiation or anything like that, but I hope we win a little bit insofar as doing our part. On the way there, we got to see, we were watching Rudy kind of off to the side in the vehicle there, and we drove through South Bend right as Rudy gets his sack. It was kind of a cool moment there. So hopefully we did our part. But you were right on Trayvon Diggs. I do take a little bit of umbrage with you saying that the quarterback conversation has no merit, Dad. It doesn't sound like Malik Willis is going to suit up. So it kind of matters who the backup's going to be for us just in case in the playoff game, does it not?
Well, it's not going to be Looney Tune out there. The poor guy, they had no chance. I don't know why they threw him out there. It was a sad display of a poor guy who, and then Brian Flores just lit him up every other way. It was almost a mercy killing out there. I'm happy for you, Brian. Thanks a lot. That was great. You got some baby who's wet behind the ears and you drove him into the ground 52 times. Whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better, Mr. Flores. But no, we'll have somebody to play backup quarterback. I'm not so sure Malik won't be ready to suit up and give it a go. If not, I guess it'll be Desmond Ridder, but it's not going to be Clayton Tune.
Caleb Blaha available? He doesn't have any more games to play for the Falcons anymore here.
That kid's going to get a go. You know whose records he broke? Joe Callahan. He made the Packers roster and played with the Packers for a year. So Blaha will definitely get a look. The Vikings probably better get him over there right after they get Willis, but I don't think they're smart enough to. You know what? I thought about this during the game. If Malik Willis had been able to play in that game and light up the Vikings like he would have, it was just that much more likely that they were going to sign him. And I think maybe we dodge a bullet because he doesn't go in there and make them look like Swiss cheese, carve them all up, run all over them. And therefore, then this kid McCarthy, good Lord, can you imagine Brett Favre coming? I got an owie. Get me out of the game. I can't play anymore. Can you? And then he's over there patting guys on the head and running around with the black face. And this kid, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see the leadership. Some guys got it and some guys don't. If I was the Vikings, I'd get Malik Willis over there and I'd tell McCarthy, sit down and watch. If you say a word, you're out of here. But I don't think they'll do it because Kwesi's tied at the hip with McCarthy.
No, they are married to the kid for sure. And the Bears married to Caleb Williams. We've hashed that out quite a bit. Any chance he turns it on before the fourth quarter when we see them, Schmitty, or are we going to get another 40% first half passer completion percentage from him, and then he puts the cape on for quarter number 4?
Hey, man, I mean, hopefully for our sake, he just doesn't find a way to turn it on at all on Saturday. But that's been his MO, right? This whole season, they just looked so pedestrian for so many games like even sometimes it's like late into the fourth quarter, and then they finally has a spark, and they're able to find their way out of a game and get a victory. They did it against us when it seemed literally impossible. I think we were like a 99% chance to win that ball game. We end up choking it away because I give credit to Caleb Williams and Johnson for putting some offense together. And look, I would expect that they're going to play to his strengths as much as they possibly can. Colston Loveland has come on big time for the Bears, and so kind of a nice security blanket that he offers. So I would expect that Ben Johnson is going to determine. You're going to find out very early. There's probably going to be some questionable fourth downs, and I would assume that he is going to go for a lot of fourth downs on Saturday night. And so how does he do that? How does he convert? Because we know that Caleb Williams' percentage of completion is fairly poor. Well, they're going to roll the kid out to the right. They're going to find RPO stuff for him to work into the offensive scheme because he is quick. He is elusive back there. He doesn't get sacked very often. And God knows that we don't really have much of a pass rush anymore. So I would expect you'll even question it yourself. I think that will be the determining factor. If we can get them off the field on fourth down over half the time, because Ben Johnson's going to go for it for damn near 8-10 times, I guess, then we have a chance to win the game. But get ready for this is how round 3. We've played this team 3 times in the last month. This is going to be an absolute war. I am so if you're just a casual football fan, how could you not get up for this game? So I expect Caleb to bring his specs, and I expect us to strap in. I can't wait.
Dad, would you rather, I think you posed the question a week ago, would you rather play anyone else than the Chicago Bears? Are you happy we drew this matchup?
Yeah, this has got to be the best matchup that you could pick. I mean, the least formidable, and I'm not trying to diss the Bears, it's just reality of the playoff teams remaining. But to be honest, there isn't one of those teams that I don't think we can beat. Seattle looks to have asserted themselves. That defense is the real deal. It's not going to be easy to go play in Seattle, but it's kind of interesting, guys. With Jordan Love starting and finishing games this year, we're 9-4-1. Those 5 games we didn't win are by a total of 12 points. And this team has playoff experience. They say that the youngest team in the NFL. We've got 3 years of playoff experience now, where this is the 3rd year. They've won a playoff game. It's time for Matt LaFleur to let Jordan Love cook the way he let Malik Willis play in the Baltimore game. We talked about this. We've talked ad nauseum about instead of 30% to 20% play action on first down, it needs to be 50 to 60. And with Malik Willis, it was 80 or 90% play action. Did you see that? Can you imagine if we did that to the Bears? We're going to carve them up, and by somewhere halfway through the second quarter to the second half, we're going to start handing the ball off, and their linebackers are going to be dropping back, not respecting the play action, and then we're going to set up the run with the pass. And maybe, just maybe, Schmitty, you get out to enough of a lead that doesn't matter in the fourth quarter. I know, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again, but that's the kind of game it really should be and ought to be if you're scheming it up and you're going at it and you do a very simple thing. You score touchdowns in the red zone and you don't give up the ball, right? We had 5 trips to the red zone in the last game, scored 1 touchdown, fumble, so on and so forth. So convert when you get in the red zone. Don't give up the ball. You can't be beaten. And then, the only thing that worries me, I don't want to talk too much about it, but Rich Bisaccia, can you scheme it up on the special teams? I looked at that. I replayed that onside kick. It is the most brutal thing. The Bears had 2 defensive linemen lined up on the right side of the field, and we got 2 cornerbacks assigned to block them. It's an absolute timeout waiting to be called, and Bisaccia can't figure it out. You've got to put your guys in position to be able to make plays, and so There you go. That's my only caveat. Bisaccia, please have your head screwed on straight and get this thing figured out. Otherwise, Jordan Love, it's time to show out.
Well, we'll get into making our picks there shortly. Schmitty, there was another game featuring a Wisconsin and a Chicago team airing on ESPN. The North Central Cardinals coming out of Naperville, Illinois, and of course the River Falls Falcons, who you got to watch at my place. Schmitty said before the lacrosse River Falls game that you didn't tell me that these guys are averaging 600 yards of offense a game. You just about fell out of your chair. Did you have an eye on that game on ESPN at all on Sunday night here, Schmitty?
I was tuning in. I got to see, like you said, for 600 yards offense, it was the defense that showed out most. The one play that memorable to me was the defensive lineman popping the ball up in the air and picking it off. And it sounded like the kid from Naperville is quite the quarterback. So you have a play like that go against you, and you are shook, aren't you? So incredible. It's just a cool thing to win this. I know your affiliation to the Falcons, so I was definitely rooting for you guys to pull that out. So just a cool. Whenever you win anything of substantial meaning, like a national championship, and you're so close to it, that's an incredible thing. And yeah, Blaha, can we? He should be coming to our rookie workouts come this spring. I would love to see what he could do. If he's a Wisconsin kid to spin it. I'm sure if he had his choice out of any camps, that he would go to Green Bay, and I think we should welcome him.
Well, he is a Minnesota kid. I don't know where his allegiance lies, but he might be split. I'm sure wherever he has an opportunity, he'd be thrilled. But I don't know. I don't have the intel for you on that one. Dad, we did a little reminiscing. I've heard over the years you talking about your experience watching, a couple Falcon games when you were a student. I think it was one game actually was all it took. And so I did a little research, with the team, the high flying Top Gun offense averaging 600 yards just about. I came across a statistic back in your era. The fewest passing yards per game in the history of NCAA Division III football was the 1984 River Falls Falcons. I think they had 183 yards on the season passing the ball. So, and they were good too. I think they were competing for conference champion. I think they might have been conference champs that season. So, different era, high flying era, fun team to watch. What were you thinking watching that game and seeing the boys from River Falls bring home some hardware?
How would you like to play wide receiver on that triple option Oklahoma Sooner River Falls team back in 1984? I mean, good Lord, I'd rather go watch grass grow than line up at wide receiver on that outfit and block till my brains fell out and catch one ball every 15 games. So, yeah, I went to one game when I was at school. They lost to Stout 7-3. They never threw the ball till 46 seconds to go in the game. And I go, there's no reason to go watch this anymore. And so it wasn't very entertaining. They were good in those days. It was a different style of football. But you got to give Matt Walker a lot of credit for this hurry-up offense. And maybe the Packers should take a look at that and go up tempo a little bit and turn it on and turn it off. They've literally neutralized North Central. Their big guys by the second half could not keep up. They had some really good defensive linemen, but they were so gassed they had no chance. Blaha was running circles around them, passing circles around them. They were so up-tempo that they couldn't get their wind. They were cramping up in 10-degree weather. And the image that'll be indelibly etched in my mind is that North Central quarterback with nothing but a Chester cat grin on his face like he ate a canary to begin the game. This cherub-like smile that was begging to be rubbed off his face, and it was completely gone by the second half. There was no grin to be seen, and it looked like they took a gut punch and really didn't know what hit them. And they got into a game where they had no idea how to respond. The coach didn't know how to manage the game at the end. He went for 4th and 22 with 7 minutes to go from his own side of the field. And despite Coach Walker, who we love, Coach, there comes a point in the game when it's a math problem. You kick the darn field goal when you got a field goal kicker who hasn't missed one inside the 40. But the player said, don't worry, Coach. You can go for it on 4th and 5 from the 10-yard line 3 times. We're not going to let you screw this up. we're going to make the plays. And Schmidt's right. They come up with a tipped ball, run it right back down there, get it in the end zone, make it a 10-point game. And I texted the guys there, Steve Wilcox and Dave Drisky and Rick Foy and the boys in the Chancellor's box. Do you believe in miracles? With about 4 minutes to go. And it was on. Champions we were. Unbelievable.
Pretty cool for sure. I think the one that I'll have etched, and they didn't show this very good on the television broadcast, but Caleb Blaha hit the Heisman pose after the touchdown that took the lead. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, the gumption to do that against the 6th time in a row Stag Bowl participant North Central Cardinals. And he's kind of a mild-mannered kid. It was pretty cool. I thought that was awesome. And I think Coach Walker said it leading up to the game. After the game, he said, we're going to be unapologetically aggressive. It's kind of like a page out of Dan Campbell's playbook, and it cost him 9 points. There's no question about that looking back on it. But I think in terms of having the right mindset for the guys in the locker room, part of what led to the Lions' success a year ago is just that attitude. You know what you're doing when it's 4th down. We aren't thinking about it. And then, it didn't work out on the scoreboard, but I think they probably figured the defense wasn't going to get as many stops as they did. So one way or another, they're bringing home the hardware. I think the other thing, you talked about the pace there, Dad. This in MMA, in the fighting world, they call it weaponizing pace. And you look at North Central, they had a lot of games, the majority of their games, they didn't really play guys in the second half, certainly not past the third quarter. And you got the Falcons, who are both on offense and defense because of the tempo and the style they play, used to playing a ton of plays out there. I think they just had better conditioning, too, in that second half, and they weaponized that pace. So congrats to the Falcons. Maybe they won't be the only Wisconsin team bringing home some hardware. Who knows? They call it the Lombardi Trophy, and it means more to us. I don't know if anything could have meant more to me than that Stag Bowl trophy, but sure would love to see the Packers do it too. So let's talk about that matchup and predictions. Schmitty, what do you think? What's your take? Do the Packers get it done against the Bears?
Griffey, -1. It's been teetering all since they posted the line in Vegas. We were 1-point favorites, and we were 1-point dogs, and it's been flip-flopping back and forth, as it should. The Packers have led both of these matchups thus far, the entirety of the game, and found themselves at 1-1 against the Bears. I think 44.5 is the over-under, and I think the weather is actually shaping up to be pretty decent, about 35 degrees. So some good playing surface for both teams that are outdoors. Can this be the one question I've been asking myself? Can this be the moment where Jordan Love, you say, I think we have the top 3 quarterback in the league? And we answer that question if he absolutely shows out on Saturday night, knowing that our defense and where we were at 9-4-1, or when we were considered the best team in football, all the talking heads had us as the best team. Not only because Jordan was playing well, he was, but we had an incredible defense with Micah Parsons. And so you get this chance to take away joy, okay? The Bears season, really, if they lose this game to us, as much fun as they've had this run in winning the division, if we find a way to go to Soldier Field and take a win away from them, okay, that it totally erases what they've done. And I know, just like we have in these past couple seasons, with being a young squad and getting playoff experience, that it's meaningful, win or loss. But this game was unexpected by the Bears to be in this, and then they win the division, and then they start feeling themselves like, oh, we're the best things since sliced bread, and now we get to go in there and just take it all away. And you do that on the back of Jordan Love. You do that on the back of Matt LaFleur, who is ready for a new contract. You get a win against Chicago, and policy is going to load up the whole squad again. Matt, Brian, they're all coming back. You got Micah signed for the next 4 years. So this game really is monumental as to where we go for the next 3 to 4 years and what you think you have in Jordan Love. And so I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to see what Caleb Williams, because Caleb Williams, as you weren't too high on him to start the season. I know Gar wasn't, and I play to it that I think he is, because I think he does have good arm talent. But for being his first playoff game, I'm kind of curious to see how he responds, knowing that he's their franchise. It's set up that way where you're going to have Caleb Williams and Jordan Love on the screen for a long time. And so this is a great start to this story of these two guys going head to head with each other. Griffey, Jordan Love will be the MVP next season, and it'll start with this run that we are going to have on Saturday night. We're not going to put it to chance anymore. We're not going to. It's going to be a resounding win. We never give up the lead, just like we have in the past 2 games. Okay, we win 34-23. Book it. The offense is going to look electric. You finally get guys healthy. I was talking last week. We get a gift. We got a gift. Nearly almost 3 weeks, some of these guys have been sitting and resting. So I'm excited to see what our offensive line looks like, knowing that the Bears don't really have a good pass rush. Zach Tom, you know what? Props to Jordan Morgan. He's come around quickly. He looks great, graded out on PFF as a tackle. I'm happy to see his progress. Go beat the Bears on Saturday night. Wouldn't that be sweet?
Would be sweet. Schmitty, you're giving me a hard time about Caleb Williams. So, I'm going to have more to lay on him in a moment. But I did my bold prediction. Take a quick look back at our bold predictions. Was 4,000 yards for Caleb Williams this year. He didn't even hit my expectation. He underperformed my expectations. So I don't know what more to say about that. Bold prediction from both of the gentlemen to my side here was Matthew Golden, Rookie of the Year. That one didn't quite come to fruition. Josh Jacobs, 1,400 yards. I don't think we got there. Dad, you did have Tucker Kraft as the second leading wide receiver with 700 yards. I think that would have been an underestimate with the way that he was going. And Brian Gutekunst, GM of the Year. So some interesting ones. Schmidt, you also said that Quay was going to be gone. We got him around still. So fun year to look back on. Dad, what do you have for this matchup down in Chicago?
Well, I don't know. I thought Schmitty was going to do the zigzag there. He had me on the edge of my seat. I thought the old orange and black was going to come up on the screen there, but Schmitty, holy mackerel, you are off appliance watch. I told you the story about the marathon, and the Packers have made it through Grandma's Hill. They got cramped up. They got hit right in the gut when Parsons went down and Watson went down. That's about a month ago now, if you can believe it, 3 weeks, whatever it is. And they've had a chance to regroup. And I couldn't be more in agreement and alignment with Schmitty. This game and this performance this postseason is leading right into this next 3 to 4 year window. And the game actually is pivotal. I mean, the season's an abject failure if they don't win this game. I'll just put it out there. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. And guys' jobs are on the line. The coach's job is, I don't know that it's on the line, but it sure isn't a good look. I think everybody in the locker room knows it. Schmitty's right. They've all been resting. You get Zach Tom back, which is just so huge. Dallas Turner did put our boy Morgan in the revolving door there and had him doing the old head jerk spinner there a couple times, but maybe Jordan is going to be okay. I don't know. But we got 2 guys who can play left tackle, so that's just a minor thing. I think the boys are focused. I think it's a great rivalry. I think they're ready to play the game. And I'll go right with Schmidt. It's about Jordan Love. We got to, and Coach LaFleur, you got to know it now. Put the ball in Jordan's hands. Let him cook. We got to live or die with this guy. I'm with Schmitty. 31 Packers, 20 Bears. And we cook and get it done. And it's not insignificant to win and go on a little run, whatever it is, and think of Parsons and Tucker thinking about this and watching this and just drooling and getting themselves ready. However far we might go this year, it all builds up for next year.
Dad, you alluded to the grin the quarterback of North Central had on his face, and no animosity towards the kid. I think he's got a couple years eligibility. He's going to have a great future there at North Central. But one guy I do have some animosity for, there's no secret about it, is Caleb Williams. And boy, would I love to see it all turn to ashes in his mouth and see that grin wiped off his face. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm rooting for. But honestly, after seeing what I saw down in Canton and the Falcons getting it done, it's hard for me to pick anybody else. Give me a Falcon on the screen for now and for always. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to get up for this Packer game. It's all downhill after what I saw down there. So I guess I'm certainly not picking the Bears. So give me a G2. We'll make it a clean sweep there. And if nothing else, that gives us another week to get together and break it all down again here. So I'm with you guys. Clean sweep for the Packers. Dad, do you have a cheese for us?
Well, I just want to add that Schmitty points out that our pass rush is questionable with Mr. Parsons gone, and I can't really argue against that. However, I think the plan in this game is to make Caleb Williams play quarterback from the pocket. Contained rush, cut off those escape routes, make him play quarterback and throw the ball from the pocket. And let's just let that 57% pass completion rate show itself. And so we don't necessarily have to get him on the ground. Just don't let him out of the pocket. Now you've got a very special cheese this week called Gruyere. Have you heard of it, boys? It's got a nutty flavor. It's very smooth. It's been a nutty season, but we're about to go into a smooth period in the postseason. It's a brand new season, and the Packers are going to gear it up. I think you're going to get the best out of them. Here's a team with all kinds of playoff experience for a young team, a coach who's been in the playoffs a ton of times. And it's time for us to show out. So smear the Gruyere all over your favorite crackers and bring it down with that nutty, smooth, creamy taste, and have a little beverage of your choice to wash it all down.
Well, nutty cheese, and we are your nutty members of the Packers Corner. Let's hope that the Packers can be a little bit like the Falcons in the postseason and knock one down one at a time. Schmitty, any final words for the Packers Corner faithful?
I certainly hope this isn't the last meaningful football game of the season, that we get to do this all over again next Tuesday with the group and share our love for the Packers. And if nothing's stopping us next Tuesday if we have a win and we're talking about Packers football, we are going to be elated. So I'm just holding on to that feeling that we're going to find ourselves next Tuesday doing this thing all over again with the listeners. I'm really excited. This game is going to be an incredible matchup. How can you not be romantic about football, Griffey?
Well, Schmitty, let's plan on it. Same time, same place. I'll see you at 7 Central Tuesday evening, and we'll get this out to the viewers a week from then too. So take care, guys. Good to be with you. Heck of a regular season. Let's give it a few more.
Love you all.